2017 was the year that saw a new UN Secretary General, Antonio Guterres, arriving at the same time as a new U.S. President, Donald Trump, both inheriting a volatile world of problems.
A world in pieces, we need to be a world at peace.
The U.S. president also wanted peace, but when it came to the specter of North Korea becoming a nuclear power, Mr. Trump left open the door to employing gunboat diplomacy.
The United States has great strength and patience, but if it is forced to defend itself or its allies, we will have no choice but to totally destroy North Korea.
But then there was also the statesman who appeared to echo the thoughts and desires of the majority of the member nations.
The world has changed. The notion of I am powerful, therefore I am right has changed. Now the world is rising against the unfair. From now on, no honorable nation, no honorable state will bow to such pressure.
The pressure was not just war, but also President Trump's threat to cut foreign aid to those countries who voted for the General Assembly resolution asking nations not to establish diplomatic missions in the historic city of Jerusalem.
Birleşmiş Milletler Genel Kurulu.
Despite the threats, the UN General Assembly displayed an honorable stance and accepted the resolution with 128 votes against 9 rejections.
Kudüs'le ilgili kararı kabul etmiştir.
2017 was also a year in which Syria's civil war slipped into its 6th year of conflict, with no end in sight as UN efforts to broker a lasting peace remained elusive. More than 250,000 people died in the conflict that's displaced 5 million others. And as the fighting continues, there is growing evidence pointing to Syria's use of chemical weapons. In Myanmar, the military crackdown on the Rohingya Muslim community in Rakhine province continues to fuel a growing humanitarian and refugee crisis that has forced more than 600,000 Rohingya to flee to Bangladesh. Myanmar has refused access to UN humanitarian rights investigators. 2017 was also a deadly year for more than 3,000 migrants who drowned trying to cross the Mediterranean Sea, fleeing poverty and conflict in sub-Saharan Africa. Libya has become the gatekeeper of Africa's migrant crisis, with at least 1 million people still waiting to escape an endless cycle of abuse, exploitation, and even slavery. 2017 was the year when North Korea became a threat to the U.S. mainland with the November 29th launch of its 3rd intercontinental ballistic missile. The missile was capable of striking any city in America. 4 weeks later, the Security Council responds by ratcheting up sanctions against Pyongyang, including a nearly 90% ban of petroleum product exports to North Korea and demanding North Koreans working abroad be kicked out and returned home. On the African continent, conflict and drought has resulted in famine conditions in South Sudan, Somalia, Yemen, and Ethiopia, affecting more than 35 million people who will require humanitarian food assistance by May of 2018. 2017 was also one of the deadliest years in decades for UN peacekeepers that included an ambush in the Democratic Republic of the Congo that killed 14.
It is another indication of the enormous sacrifices made by troop-contributing countries in the service of global peace.
Sadly, many foreign policy experts expect past events to be prologue, with more war, hunger, and terrorism ahead in 2018. Frank Ucciardo, TRT World, the United Nations.